Thank you, my lady. Professor Rubin, I asked a small number of questions on behalf of the long COVID groups. At paragraph 4.3 of your witness statement, I don't think we need to go there, you explain that PMT, protection motivation theory, was a core theory of SPI-B to motivate the public to protect themselves against perceived severe threats. In that same paragraph, you acknowledge and categorise long COVID as an outcome that may be perceived as a severe threat. The questions I ask are, was SPI-B asked specifically to advise decision makers on how to minimise the risk of long COVID?
Specifically, I don't believe so, but we would have been looking generally at minimising the risk of catching COVID and the risk of adverse outcomes generally. So I think it would have fallen within most of the things we were looking at as a result of that. But no, I don't think we had a specific commission on long COVID.
So you think that covers the remit of the advice that you provided?
I'm sorry, I'm not sure I understand.
Was that the extent of the advice in relation to long COVID?
The comment that you've read out?
Yeah.
I don't know for sure. I don't think we wrote a specific paper on long COVID, no.
All right, thank you. The second question I want to ask relates to public messaging. I wonder if INQ 000197208 could be put up. Page 2, please. It's the penultimate bullet point. This, I think, was a SPI-B meeting paper from the 22nd of October 2020 in response to a commission from Cabinet Office Comms on how best to promote adherence in students and young people. And the bullet point states, interventions should provide accurate information on short-term and long-term consequences, e.g. long COVID and risks to loved ones. Would this be an example of an instance where SPI-B raised an issue so that it is on the government's radar?
I don't think we were using it to raise the issue of long COVID. I think we were using these as examples of the kind of things that this was a specific paper about young people. So looking at the kind of things that young people need to be aware of in terms of the risks to them. As you can see, the two we've given as examples: risk to your family if you catch COVID and take it home with you, and risk that long COVID might be one of the long-term consequences for you.
Yeah, because you do spell out an example of long COVID. So the extract to the paper I've taken to you focuses on messaging. Can you help, please? What impact would the absence of public messaging on long COVID have on protective behaviours in the community to manage the risk of long COVID?
So I could only speculate if there was substantial messaging about a high level of risk from long COVID, that it would reach more people who might potentially have the risk factors for that, and that protection amongst that group would increase.
So conversely, if there's an absence of public messaging, what does the impact have in protective behaviours in the community in those circumstances?
Well, if the intention behind the messaging is to improve protective behaviours, then the absence of that messaging will result in lower levels of protective behaviour.
Thank you very much indeed, Professor Rubin. Thank you, my lady.
Thank you, Mr. Metzer. That's it. Thank you very much indeed, Professor Rubin. Obviously, you and your colleagues did a huge amount of work to try and serve the public and advise the government. It's unfortunate that your expert advice was sometimes misinterpreted, misunderstood, or even possibly ignored. But I hope you and your colleagues understand how much the rest of us appreciate what you try to do.